Hello, my loves. I'm Ellie Frost. It's so echoey. I'll tell you why it's echoey in a minute. I'm going to go into my boudoir. Come into my bedroom, beautiful people. If you've just met me on YouTube, it's not that kind of video. We're talking about healing from narcissistic abuse, massive transformation in our lives, radically healing, using a multi-dimensional approach, spiritually, emotionally, physically, energetically, and psychically, right? And I have a lot of tools on this channel that really, honestly, like, the work I do is radical with people, not just to heal from this absolute distortion on the planet, which I believe we can lead a whole movement for change on. But we need to be healed first, right? Heal yourself and get yourself into your abundant life, and then your purpose you might want to do nothing to do with this ever again. And that's totally fine, because you're not on the planet to suffer, and you're not on the planet to make it right if it's not your calling, right? You're on the planet to live your most fulfilled life, receive love, give love, and be you, fully expressed. But I wanted to share something about me because as I talk about my journey, I think it's boiling hot in here as well. You can tell this is a very real video. But I think my videos are getting better, right? When I started really going for the videos on YouTube, it's only about a month ago, really. You can tell that I'm not, you can probably see in the background the mess, which I'll explain. I'm learning, but I don't want my videos edited. I want to show up and share a message. And if I had to make it perfect, I wouldn't be able to do it, actually. And I think it's better for us to connect. So following your dreams, right? I've always been about following my dreams. And when you're in trauma, one, your whole life's been ripped apart. Two, you can't connect to your future or any kind of vision. So after the most serious effects of, I've been in narcissistic abuse from childhood, but I'd managed to create success in my life. Then I'd moved countries, set up a new business, and I went through the cycles that blew my brain in terms of the severity of what I suffered, which was severe poverty, severe hardship, severe physical ailments, no support, no one to run to, and having to find my sovereign power, my truth and my expression, and rebuild my life. I rebuilt it up once, and then it got detonated again. I didn't recognize something, and I was still in these cycles. I got in a relationship with a malignant, covert narcissist who I didn't see coming, and I also made unhealthy relationships in a community that got bullied again, so I lost my home twice. And I've always been someone who's worked with visionaries. So before that, I worked with someone very famous in the UK. I was the director of his business, and I helped him build a business around a social purpose. I've always worked with the people here to do, I call it elevating consciousness on the planet, things that change things for humanity. It's always been my mission. I just didn't realise how it would evolve in my own life. So I've always been someone who could very intuitively help people come into themselves, their soul purpose, and create businesses and opportunities for people and social change through all sorts of things. Business, social enterprise, charity, but I believe in profit and purpose because I believe in wealth in the hands of good people and resources, and business becoming about helping people in good ways. That these things should go together, and we should all be abundant and fully expressed and joyful in our life. And I believe that's possible. And it takes someone with a kind of idealist, if you think of it like that, idea to create any change. So you need someone who believes that. I don't just believe it, I know it, because I work with visionaries every day, as well as what I do here with you guys, right? So, and I've seen it. People, Steve Jobs says, the people who are crazy enough to believe they can change the world do, right? So anyway, what I didn't see coming was the extremity that my life would become, what a shell of a human I became, and how I couldn't connect to any vision, any purpose, any joy. I was severely ill and on the verge of homelessness, over and over and over again. I had just about built a credit rating when I got into my last relationship, which then got, because I've moved countries, completely blown apart, and I'm now still rebuilding. So when it came to the fact that my business is now working and I'm functioning, I'm happy, I was in temporary sort of living situations, a room here, then in hotels. That's what I've been doing for quite a long time now. And obviously hotels is an expensive choice, but I mean, it was a very comfortable choice. But then I was ready. I'm such a home person, and I was ready for my home. I was ready for my home. I wanted a home more than I wanted anything else, and it'd been a long time since I'd had one, like my own home again. I'd say, well, the last time I lost a home, yeah, it's not even, I don't even want to connect to the energy, but it's been a long time where I've been more transient, not, very comfortable, and I've been blessed with that, but I wanted a home. So I have one. I don't just have one, I have one better than I could have possibly imagined. Everything on my wish list, which I didn't, it's everything I wanted. But what's really interesting to me, so at the moment, if you've seen the mess, I'm getting all my furniture in and everything. I'm on an air mattress. There's no furniture in the living room apart from a chair that I bought. I drive a Mini Cooper, right? So it's not like I can put furniture in it. So everything has to be delivered. But I did get this. I did manage to get a few things in there because it's a convertible. So yeah, I maybe shouldn't say that, but the visibility was okay. I think it was okay to drive with the furniture in there. But there's a lot of it took me a long time to get here, and I want to tell you, because I talk a lot about the traumas, right? And the fear of loss is such a big trauma, because I realized that I know when I'm being true to myself, and I know when I'm bullshitting myself. And much as I know, I took myself to a really nice hotel the other weekend, and it was beautiful on a marina. It was so beautiful. Yeah, I don't really post on social media anymore, like my life, because it's for me. I want my moments for me. I'm not interested in what people think. I'm not doing it to show off. My life doesn't. I'm happy with very simple things in life. I learned to be, yeah. And beyond that, I was always like that. I was always quite humble with life. I wasn't for the superficial, even though I love everything. I love the material world, and I believe we're meant to. You're in a physical experience. It's not spiritual to reject our material world. I want it all. I want to experience it all because I love it, not because I need it and it's got a hold on me, right? But I realised that I could carry on as I was, but not going for an apartment, which is what I truly wanted, was a little bit of fear in me. Why? Because I had this trauma of, and this is what you'll find, like when you go for love again, when you go for friendships, when you go for your dreams again, after this devastation, when you've got to heal the trauma, because if you do it from a traumatized state, what you'll find often is if you push through and manifest, is what I kept finding, then the fear and the loss and the lack and the scarcity will take over, and you'll make some headway, but you'll go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and it will feel like you can never get ahead, you can never build momentum, because the trauma isn't healed. And trauma was the biggest missing link in personal development, in understanding law of attraction and manifestation, and in understanding how to heal my body, right? Trauma is misunderstood. So whereas I used to be a great manifester, I couldn't manifest properly anymore because of trauma. And when I really used my, energy to push past that, very often things would work for a bit and then go wrong. So that, for me to walk with my fear, right? Because the fear is of having something great again, not good, great, and then risk losing it. Yeah, there's still a little girl in all of us. You'll never evolve past your human. Doesn't matter how healed you are, how spiritual you are. Yeah, I work with God. I know God gave me this place. I've got angel numbers on my door and my post zip code. Like, it's unbelievable what the actual synchronicities of it, and how it's every dream I could have. It's just silly little things that are my favourite. There are flowers outside my windows that are my favourite. It's just silly things that it couldn't be put together. If you think there's no God on the universe, there is so much in my life that I can't deny. And we can't really have a conversation about demons if we don't understand who's the boss. And the boss on this planet is God. It's just that you have free will, right? And we are here there are definitely light workers on the planet right now, myself included, here to reset this balance. It's got distorted, right? Narcissism is a distortion, and we're out of whack as a human race. We're actually here to evolve and progress and move forwards. But the story is this, right? That you never evolve past your humanness. I'm healed. I'm abundant. I've built success from this in terms of, I'm doing well. I'm healed in myself. I'm building. I'm trusting what I'm being called to do, and I'm comfortable in all of that. But every time you go for your next dream, because I've healed the trauma, now I can go towards my dreams and listening to my heart. You're never going to evolve past fear, because fear is it takes courage to go towards your dreams, and there's a bit of fear that comes with that, but it's not the crippling fear of trauma and PTSD. It's the kind of excitement, and I'm really scared, and the old thoughts are going to come in. And what I was thinking about in that hotel, the reason I mentioned it was I knew I had to man up. I talk about courage. I talk about I'm a leader because I'm brave. And if you're not, the only reason is I'm braver than most people. I'm not better than you in any way. I'm just braver, and I learned how to be. And it's part of my mission to be. But receiving our dreams, not living in fear of loss, not going for the things we really, really, really want, not claiming our standards, not claiming our values, not claiming the best for ourselves, right? Because we'll go for a little bit less because we don't want to go too big or too good or accept too much in case we lose it again, right? I had to banish my own bullshit on that. And it's quite an interesting experience because this week I've been going through these feelings, which on one hand are overwhelmed with gratitude. On the other hand is and what if my old little girl in me who's gone through too much, she's been through too much, right? So I'm self-partnering. It's everything I teach you in Sovereign. I'm self-partnering with her. I'm not trying to fix her. I'm not looking at her and going, you should be more spiritual than this and more evolved. Can't you just be grateful all the time for what you've got now? No, there's a child in me, that little girl in me that, as an adult, but we're still connected to when a child, went through hell a few times over, went through things that no human should ever go through, went through the extremes of things, not just in poverty, but in abuse, in the things people could do to you, ways they could treat you, persecute you, abuse you for being light. Come on, what the heck is happening? There were times when I was just asking for a basic standard of living, and even that got taken away, that everything was taken away. So now what can I accept? What can I receive, right? The art of receiving is something that I do cover in Sovereign. And as we get into modules 5 and 6, especially 6, it's about manifesting your life, but it's a journey, and it's an emotional journey. It doesn't have to be a roller coaster though. I'm grounded with it. I'm aware of it. I'm just self-focused, and everything I teach, self-partnered and self-sourcing through it, while I'm partnering that little girl where, although this is everything she wants and more, yeah, she's still scared. And at the same time, I'm just in awe of life, because there's no way I can ever deny the divinity in it, the magic in it. The magic exists. And I know you can't see it. I say when I make these videos, I do it for me and for you, for us, because I'm talking to me 6 years ago when I went through all this stuff. I'm talking to me that when I first lost my home was my sanctuary. It was the only place. I'm an introvert really in my where I live. This, not being able to shut the door and shut the world out, living in a way where I was frightened every day, when my sense of security and safety was so disrupted. The module I just taught in Sovereign is coding for safety. I had to find internal safety in my emotions, no matter what was happening, because I was in unsafe environments. And guess what? Your life can be so fucking beautiful. You can dream again, and you can receive your dreams, and I can walk you through the whole thing. And it's going to always feel a little bit scary, because this journey, you have to be brave. Yeah? But if you don't know how to be brave, I've got oodles of it. I know exactly how to be brave, and I know how brave you are inside, because you wouldn't even be here still thinking, still listening, still wanting to grow if you weren't, right? When I was poor, and I put that, I told in the last video, $500 into the program when I couldn't afford to eat, right? I probably was the poorest person in that group, because the woman that teaches it, she teaches wealth principles to people. I don't know that for a fact, but, she acknowledged something about people who didn't have as much, and she said they're the bravest ones in the room. They're the bravest. Yeah, I was brave. I was willing to be brave. I was willing to find a way. I am still. I know, I didn't know the way, but I knew God knew a way, and I knew God could work through me, and I knew I could actually change it. I had so much in me. I have so much passion, and I've always had something in me where I want to share it. I care about people. Therefore, whatever I know, I'm going to share. Whatever I know, I'm going to use, right? And so if I find a way, I want other people to find the way, because I want to show you, not just that I did something, that plot twisted and glitched the matrix, that you can too. And I do it with people every day in different ways. I've done it my whole life, right? But now I'm using it for this, because this was my story. This is the most scary thing for me to do, because when I teach people what I've learned about how they bring themselves into their soul alignment, their messaging, their healing, their expression, whatever, that's That's all about them. But when I move you through narcissistic abuse into your authentic power and truth, there's no way I can do it without sharing me. It's the most personal thing I've ever done. It's the most true thing I've ever done. And it's the most powerful because it's real. It's real for me. That's why I said to you, I healed my trauma so much that not only would I did, disconnected from the trauma of it, but then I went back and emotionally reconnected to every single part of it so that I could share it with you from a real and raw place, because everything I say is real and raw. It's everything that I lived. Yeah. And I lived a lot of it in all different scenarios. I lived that thing where you can't get out of it. I lived that thing where I didn't know what to do. I lived that thing where I would sit there and think, if I said something, how could I have got that person to leave me alone? What would I say differently? How could I have communicated? It wasn't my words, it was my energy. If you can join Sovereign for this round, we're closing the doors at the weekend, right? So you've got until Sunday to email me. If you're in America, I need to send you a Pacific link. If you're in the rest of the world, you can use the PayPal link on the website. If you can come into that, honestly, it's a beautiful, beautiful ride. I don't just leave it on April 17th. I'm going to still be there, but people are self-pacing at different things. It isn't just. It's not about narcissists. It's giving you the tools to be sovereign. It's giving you back. Sovereign is you, your sovereignty, your power, your authentic power, your truth. We go through a lot of stuff in there. How to heal your physical body? You do that first. We get a foundation in place. We go into heart healing, self-focus, self-partnering, deep trauma release, which is not re-traumatizing you in any way in my world. Then we go into setting very strong boundaries and standards and knowing the energetics of that. And then we go into manifestation, creating your dream life, your true life, what you actually came for. You came to dream. You came to dream. Desire is a healthy desire, not ego desire, is from God. God puts your dreams into your heart. God had this place for me. I would never have even gone to this place because I wouldn't have thought I'd have qualified for it. It was the easiest thing I've ever done. It was to get it, in terms of how quick the process was. I found it on a Thursday night when I was brave enough to go on my computer and try again because I just got refused for another place. And by the Friday, by that night I'd done the application. By the Friday it was agreed. By the last Saturday I moved in. That was how quick that was. The other apartments were taking ages and it was just all rubbish. It wasn't right for me, but this one's perfect. More perfect than I could have even dreamed of. More than I would have asked for. More than I would have. It's not about what you're worth. It's just like, I don't need the things to feel happy, and nor do you. It's just we deserve a good quality of life. We play for quality of life. And especially when you've been through the worst of things, it's about time to draw a line in the sand and declare your truth, what you really want. Not with an energy of entitlement or, any of that, just truth. Truth, right? Because what's big for me is small for someone else, and what's small for them is big for me. It doesn't really matter. No one's keeping score. It's just what's true. What's true for me? This was true for me, and it was available in a way I didn't know. Yeah, there's so much more available for you than you know. So if you'd like to join Sovereign, I'd love to have you there. Honestly, it's so much more than, it's nothing like you've ever done. It's bringing the highest level of personal development with healing modalities, emotional intelligence work, and powerful energy clearings for you to receive and use and utilize. I do clearings and activations. At the moment, there's only one meditation. It's not typical. It's very unusual work. It's taken years of development. It's the best I've got. And I want to swear, it motherfucking works. It works. It's a way. It's a way through a load of chaos, a load of rubbish into a beautiful life, the life you deserve. It's got all my heart in it. It's got all my energy in it. You'll feel it. You can't be in it and not be moved, and in a beautiful way, right? So I love you. Lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon.